Is another example of the flexibility you were talking about that Rory McIlroy has.
Yeah, I mean, he's ripped physically, a lot of muscles, but he stretches those muscles. But watch the follow through. See how he drops it into the slot right here, and then right there is perfect. Watch where the club head ends up. And this is a little bit like a Michelle Wie follow through. Watch the club actually points at the target. It's so follow through, so far.
Is another example of the flexibility you were talking about that Rory McIlroy has.
Yeah, I mean, he's ripped physically, a lot of muscles, but he stretches those muscles. But watch the follow through. See how he drops it into the slot right here, and then right there is perfect. Watch where the club head ends up. And this is a little bit like a Michelle Wie follow through. Watch the club actually points at the target. It's so follow through, so far.
Hey, welcome. My name is Jim Crane. We're going to talk today a little bit about muscles, strength, balance, mobility in the golf swing. Now, I think we'd all agree that golf mechanics are number one. Having great golf mechanics is where we want to start. But those golf mechanics have to fit within the ability of the human body. And if those muscles are tight, that is going to restrict the golf mechanics. If nothing else, when the muscles are tight, we're going to traumatize those muscles so that afterwards, after the round, they're going to be tight and sore and maybe lead to back problems later on. Years ago, I had to go to a chiropractor many years ago. The chiropractor always at one point he would bounce on me trying to create this reaction in my body to move the vertebrae. And I think about that years later, and I thought it was just the tight muscles he was trying to get beyond. But now I realized it was very simplistic. All we needed to do was lengthen the muscles around the spine, and then everything would have been able to be adjusted so much more readily. So how are we going to do this? We need to get past the stretch reflex when we're stretching the muscles. And that's the muscle's protective ability, so that it actually contracts when it's being overstretched. But when we keep it stretched to its max and hold it there over a period of time, bring it back there again and again and again, we start to move beyond the stretch reflex. The muscle doesn't feel threatened anymore and begins to lengthen. And then we just keep doing that until we get to a length that really works for our dynamic body. And that's what creates the smooth, easy swing in our golf game. So let's talk about strength. How do we strengthen the body? I spent about 30 years powerlifting, and I really thought I was pretty strong, but in reality I think I was building muscle. I had that kind of strength. But what I didn't have is a dynamic strength. A strength where all the muscles connected together and worked as one unit. And that's the way the body works. It's dynamic. And in the golf swing, it's dynamic. We want all the muscles connected and working together. Especially working on the strength in the core. And the core isn't just our abs. It's the pelvic floor, it's transverse abdominals, internal, external obliques, and really includes all the muscles that attach to the pelvis and the spine. So we want that really strong so we're stable. So if we do movements that are slow and controlled and take the momentum out of the action, we kind of force the body, the fibers to fire. And we kind of force the body to body's muscles to work together to perform the function. Because essentially I've found that at least my body is pretty lazy, and it only uses the muscles that I force it to use. So if I'm doing something where I'm really throwing muscles around, like in an aerobics class or something of that nature, I'm using large muscle groups. So I found if I slow everything down with slow, controlled movements, then I'm forcing everything to work together as a unit. And so these exercises that are coming up, I'm going to give you an example of someone who's been doing this for several years, a golfer, and how it's affected his body. And this takes some time, because at first the muscles don't know how to talk to each other, and so we have to train them, just like anything. Just like the golf mechanics, we have to train them. We have to be patient, and we have to be persistent. And if we do that, we're going to achieve results. Another component of the golf swing is balance. In the swing, we move from one side to the other. And so we want that to be a smooth, strong transition. How can we strengthen our balance? Well, there's two ways we could do that. One is by spending more time on one side and then transitioning to the other side and spending more time on that, building strength in those muscles. And also just slowing down transitions as we move from one side to the other. We start to slow down the movement. We create more strength in those muscles. A lot of balance simply comes from strength, from having all of the muscles be able to support one side versus the other. So, let's just review. In order to create a great golf swing, to hit the ball longer and straighter, we need, first of all, great golf mechanics. Next, we need the body to perform with those mechanics, which means strength, balance, and mobility, so that we have a nice, easy turn. The muscles aren't traumatized. We have a nice, fluid transition as we move from one side to the other. And we have strength in the body, especially core strength, so that as we perform these functions, we have stability and are able to make those transitions fluidly with great control. So this is Mike Reich from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He's a scratch golfer, considered going pro for a while. I've been working with Mike for some years now. He's kind of built himself up to this point where you can see how Mike moves is very controlled, strong movements. And the reason for this, again, is he's integrating the muscle groups together to work dynamically. The body works dynamically. He's doing a lot of twists here, slow controlled twist. Again, just bringing those muscles out to that tight point. So that over a period of time, they start to lengthen as he performs different functions like just lifting up. Because he does this slow and controlled, it's creating a lot of integration, a lot of muscle connection. Now as he reaches to the front of the room, he's pressing into the outside edge of his back foot, lengthening, creating extra length through his right side. So it's concentrated movement. You have to be involved in these movements for them to be effective. Now that was a little glitch in the video, so Mike didn't move that fast. Everything Mike does is slow and controlled. Now he lifts the back leg up, forcing the muscle fibers to fire and forcing the leg muscles to connect with the core so that it lifts as one unit. Now he's transitioning again, forcing more connection, more strength building, more of an opportunity for everything to work together. As he lifts up, even those simple little movements, lifting up creates the opportunity for strength building. And as he twists and stacks his shoulders, twists the other way, those muscles around the thoracic spine are starting to lengthen out a little bit at a time. He's also breathing, which helps keep the muscles relaxed and loose. As he lifts up the back leg, he's working on balance. And then watch as his muscles fight to maintain his balance. So he's building a lot of strength here. Now Mike likes to redo the moves. He doesn't like the way it went. I'm not telling him to do that. Now see, as he comes back into high push-up, everything is slow and controlled again. So he's building strength along the way, in between those movements. We call those transitions, and that's where the strength is really built. Reminds me of the historian Walter Payton, how he used to run mountains in order to train the muscles to work that were similar to being on the football field, because on a mountain you would have unexpected movements. Terrain was totally unpredictable, much like on a football field. The muscles would subject themselves to different challenges. And he claims that that's why he wasn't hurt very often. Now Mike, not only has he added 10 to 15 yards onto his drives, but more importantly to Mike is how he feels after a round of golf. He feels no pain. And that's because his muscles are lengthened out. He's not traumatizing his muscles as he swings through the ball. Those muscles are not tight, they're loose. Nice and easy swing. So, if this is something you would like to learn more about, you can contact me. You can come to my teaching platform. It's listed above. I'm going to be working with a few people if they're interested, and offer a money-back guarantee. I will do a free half-hour introduction if somebody's interested. But let me know. Thank you for at least watching and keeping an open mind to possibilities. And please hit subscribe. I'm going to be doing some other videos along this same line of thinking. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I've just decided to start sharing it outside of the local area in which I've been privileged to work with thousands of students. Thank you.